Some tenants are claiming that landlords are charging too much for rental application fees in the state of Ohio, and now they're trying to change the law to make a limit on how much landlords can charge. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting topic for you today, and it's a topic that I have covered before, and it has to do with the application fees that landlords charge whenever we're trying to rent our properties out. Now, I've told you in many cases, and in fact, in most cases, the application fee goes to process the application. Okay, we are not making money off of the application fees, yet still, I read these articles and they portray landlords as using application fees as this, get rich quick scheme, I guess, to defraud tenants out of money. Yeah, that's not happening, okay? And everything that they talk about when it comes to these fees, it is understandable because it is not, cheap to go through an application. It is not free, like if it was free and easy, like we could just instantly get all the information that we needed about every one of our tenant applicants, that would be wonderful, but that's not the way that reality works. And so there is a fee involved. The fee also works to basically cut out the people who are wasting our time, the people who know that they don't actually qualify for our apartment because either their income isn't right, or they have a bad, like an eviction on their background, or maybe a bad criminal history. And even though we wrote in the title for the the description of the rental property that, hey, we don't want people with these factors to even apply, they still want to come up here and try to slip by us because you know what, there are some landlords who don't do background screening and they think maybe this is one of them. No, I'm not. Okay, but I can easily weed you out once I let you know about the cost for applying and the fees involved. So the one thing that I do, right, and this is one of those things that I will do for a tenant, okay, in order to make the fee for the background investigation a little bit more bearable, I say, if you apply, okay, and you need a background investigation run, the backgrounds that I run are about $40. You get it done, everything comes out clean, I will take that $40 out of the first month's rent, okay? It's that simple, okay? So it will be, I will bear the cost of it, but that's only if everything you say is honest, okay? And it has worked out for me in the past. The only problem would be if it doesn't work out, you don't get your money back. Okay, and I rarely, and I mean rarely, will let somebody know why I did not select them. In fact, I don't think I've ever let anybody know why exactly I did not select them. That's not required. Okay, my simple explanation is that if I'm pressed, that another person was selected. That's it. Okay, I don't want anyone to read too much into anything that I'm doing, or assume that I am being breaking the law or the rules, and it doesn't benefit me to give them a clear explanation of, okay, yeah, I looked at your record and blah 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 blah. No. But anyway, let me get into this article. Let's talk about the state of Ohio. This article is coming from the DaytonDailyNews.com, and it says, Ohio has no cap on rental application fees, which can add up fast. Some people want that to change. A lot of people want that to change. They want to take away our ability to charge fees. They want to keep our rents low forever. They don't want us to charge security deposits. They don't want us to charge for pets. They don't want us to charge for anything. They want to stay in our property for free while we foot the bill. We do all the repairs. We do everything for them. And they do nothing. Like, there's zero incentive whatsoever to be a landlord in their fantasy situation. And they don't realize that, oh yeah, that would actually make it harder for us to find housing, because it would be too many people who would decide they didn't want to do it anymore. Anyway, let's get into the article and see what it says. Apartment hunters in Ohio usually must pay a fee when they submit an application to rent an apartment or home. Housing advocacy groups say these non-refundable fees can be $50, $75, $100 or more, and even smaller charges can add up fast when people are applying for multiple rental units, creating yet another obstacle in the sometimes frustrating search for housing. Some advocates say they would like to see state caps on application fees or other regulations put in place to protect consumers. And I can't remember the state, but I did see that they, I go through so many articles, I'm pretty sure it's either Washington State or California, but they put a cap on the amount of fees that you could charge for the application. And my biggest gripe with that is that the cap does not actually cover the actual cost to do the background screening. So you will only be able to cover part of the cost. You're going to be taking a loss on every single application that you get in there that you have to actually go screening. So yeah, I don't like the idea behind that at all. They didn't talk to landlords before they set how much that application fee cap would be. And even if they did, things change as time changes. We've gone through all this inflation. Sometimes the people who charge for the background investigations and the eviction checks, etc., their prices go up. So why is it that now we're stuck here maybe, you have a $25 cap on how much you could charge for an application fee? Well, if it costs me $50 and then next year it costs me $55 and the year after that it costs me $60, I'm just slowly losing more and more money. So this isn't anything that is good for landlords. And in my opinion, what's going to end up happening is in the places where there aren't rent caps in place, landlords are going to increase their rents accordingly to cover the cost of the additional tenant screening. So this will lead to less affordable housing because we have more fees that we can no longer charge. So yeah, I don't like the idea of the fees at all, or capping the fees at all. Application fees are now pretty standard to lease a unit, and the challenge is that these fees are unregulated with no obligations on landlords to provide any update on the application, said Rhonda Easley, an organizer with the Dayton Tenant Union, a group that advocates for renters' rights. If the average tenant pays $35 to $100 or more for application fees, and they apply to 3 to 5 places when hoping to move, that quickly decreases the amount of resources available for their transition and stabilization. Like I said, the only other option would be we tack that onto the monthly cost of the rent. So now we're talking about tenants who might be struggling more because they're paying $50 or $100 more per month, right? And I know what you're thinking. Why would, if it only costs $50 to do tenant screening, why are they charging $50 more per month? Because the landlord still has to go through and screen all those other people who did not get the property. So let's say you have 10 or 15 people who applied, and each one, it costs you $50 to do their screening, but you're only able to, due to the cap on the application fee, you're only able to get 25 back. So now you've got 15 times $25 is what? Man, I'm terrible at math. Well, you have hundreds of dollars that came out of your pocket to do the tenant screening, and you're going to have to charge those hundreds of dollars back onto the rent and to cover that cost. And that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, the landlord is not going to lose money. Will rents be cheaper? No. They will be more expensive because we're no longer able to charge those fees. And this is the case of all the fees. Now, in the case of fees, the tenant has the ability to say, okay, I am going to forego this or forego that and save money. But when it comes to the rents themselves being higher, the tenant can't forego anything. So yeah, this is a lose-lose for tenants. But they can keep pushing this stuff, okay? The solution to every problem is not more government regulation. But that is what the people in this tenant union are saying. And I believe that they are sorely mistaken, and that fact has been proven time and time again.